Hello, and welcome to 3-Minute Film School. Tips for making a video. An American Friends Service Committee production. When it comes to filmmaking, there are essentially 4 parts to making a successful video. Those parts are development, pre-production, production, and post-production. All of these steps combined end in a successful final product. Let's start with the first step, which is development. This is the time when you would start thinking about the story you want to tell, who the audience for the video would be, and what the video will be used for. A good way to start mapping out these ideas is to develop a storyboard of what you want the video to look like, or create a list of shots you want to get. You should also develop a timeline so you can start thinking strategically about the amount of time you can spend on this project. You could then make a list of who you want to interview, making sure you include a diversity in backgrounds, opinions, and cultures to create a well-rounded video. Part of development is also to write out possible questions to ask in the interview and to practice the interview questions with one another. The next step is pre-production. During this time, you should determine what kind of equipment you have available. It could be a DSLR, a video camera, or even your camera phone. Assign different roles to people in your group. Think about how each person could take a different role in the video making process. Scout for interesting interview locations, keeping sound, lighting, and privacy in mind when selecting a spot. And prepare releases to make sure all who you interview give permission to be in your video. If you can't prepare releases, ask the person to say on camera, "I give permission for the use of my words and image for this video." Now on to production. This is when you actually get behind the camera. To make sure your video looks good, first we have to talk about how to set up your frame. Here's a great example. Notice how the subject is sitting away from a wall to create depth, how the camera operator has set up a tight shot, and how the camera is at eye level with the subject. But the most important thing is to always test a shot before you interview. Another great thing to remember while setting up your shot is the rule of thirds. This rule simply tells you to keep your subject at either the far left or far right of the frame, never in the middle. You should also make sure the subject is looking in the direction of open space. You might also want to shoot some establishing shots to give context of where the interview is being held, some listening shots including the interviewer, and some action shots to add variety to your video. Sound is also an important component of production. Make sure to turn off all cell phones during interviews, to record some ambient sound to dub later, but to make sure that during the interview there is low ambient noise while looking out for possible disturbances before shooting. We are now at the last step, post-production. This is when you would begin to edit your video into its finalized form. Import and organize the footage you collected into your computer and screen everything. Choose footage that supports your original message and story. Pull out all the rough footage you want to use and put it in the order you want to see it. Edit long chunks into shorter ones, and think about photos, logos, or graphics that can support your story. Don't forget the credits. Include everyone who played a part. Now is the time to add in your music. Don't use copyrighted music. Compose your own if you can, and make sure to credit any archival music or photos that you use. You're all done. Upload your video to YouTube, share it on Facebook, and screen it for your friends and family. For more info on the If I Had $1 Trillion Youth Video Contest, visit afsc.org. Thanks for watching, and good luck on your video project.